Thank you so much for joining us here at Lovely Being You. You know, sometimes we have to really look at the matrix to gain certain lessons, okay? Now, the lesson that I'm taking from it is the blue pill. Let's call this one the blue pill brother. The blue pill brother is the wrong guy. Sometimes you make a choice because the guy has a nice smile, and we're not looking at the energy that he has. His strategy might be to knock you off of your principles, to make you think differently and give him a chance. That's the guy you don't give a chance to. Years ago, I had no idea that I was being, I'll call this set up, my father figure, because he was trying to control my finances. Apparently there was inheritances that were supposed to be taken in by myself. But apparently I didn't know what was going on at the time. So he would choose a guy, and I'd meet the guy, and I'm thinking, oh, it's such a nice guy, whatever. They all started out being very nice. And then there was a certain type of controlling behavior that came later on. Almost abrasive, And one guy, I couldn't even believe it because I thought this guy was different, we had a lot more in common. We both were teachers. And I said, wow, this guy, he's great. Then he became abusive. And I said, how? How is this possible? I even wanted my father to meet him, and he didn't want to meet my father. Later on, I found out that my father was paying him as well. Confirmation. When people they start off on the right track, because of course when you meet a person, you're meeting the representative. As you date them longer, you get to see who this person really is. And I never would have thought, I never would have guessed that my father would have made such choices to hurt or harm me. I said, how is this possible? But when I look back, I was mirroring what my mother and my grandmother taught, to actually always treat the person the way that you want to be treated. And of course, he was a male figure. And a lot of my girlfriends, their father figures were never around. So I looked at this and I said, I'm going to treat my father better than that, because I want him to know that he's cherished, that he's loved. So I would make sure that I prepare certain meals. My father figure came to see me when I lived in Arizona, and I gave him my bedroom because, I felt like he should have the bedroom because he's the adult here and he's my father, out of respect. So I took the living room, and when I went to go into the bedroom, I knocked. He had the door locked, and then I asked him. I said, the light was on. It was late at night, and I heard him swishing through papers. And I couldn't understand, like, what's going on? I said, open the door. Can you open the door? He refused to open the door. The next day when I got into my room, all of my mail, some of my mail was missing, some of my papers were discombobulated. He actually went through my things. When people don't respect your things, they don't respect you. You have to be an adult about it. You have to set parameters. You have to set barriers. You have to choose yourself first. So although people say, oh, that's your father. My grandmother used to always tell me when he used my Social Security to open up a business when I was in high school. And I forgave. Every time I would forgive, and he'd call my grandmother and tell her to, straighten me out. My grandmother, because she was my grandmother was my heart. She'd reprimand me and say, that's your father. You should give that to him. But as you grow up, you say, no. Certain things people should not have. God gave us these things separately because we are now becoming adults. You go from a girl to a woman. A man goes from a boy to a man. So you have to look at these things. You have to make sure that you don't take that blue pill. You have to also, I don't care how you meet the person or who introduced you to the person. You have to also feel that energy. You have to use your intuition. Make sure that you're praying over the situation, because you never know what is going on behind the scenes. So make sure that you respect yourself, and you make sure that the other people you are interacting with are respectful towards you as well. Thank you so much for joining us. Lesson learned. Love you being you.